Communication is an integral part of any public health emergency response. And in this process of informing the public, it's important that public health authorities are able to respond to questions and worries from the citizens and to use the proper channels to inform the public. This World Health Organization film about the Zika virus is one example.
If you live in an affected region, you do need to take personal protection. That means making sure mosquitoes are excluded from your house, making sure...
This is called risk communication, and the purpose of risk communication is to ensure that messages and strategies that protect citizens from threats to their health reach the public quickly and effectively. In this process, interaction and exchange of information and opinions are important to help everyone understand the risks to which they're exposed and encourage them to participate in minimizing or preventing these risks. When creating a plan for risk communication, there are several things to consider. The first is that the source has to be trustworthy if authorities want the public to act according to recommendations. But public health authorities are not automatically seen as trustworthy by the public. It often happens that alternative versions of the information shared by authorities about an outbreak, disease or treatment emerge and circulate in the public. In the case of the Ebola epidemic in West Africa, many alternative explanations of the Ebola epidemic emerged. Among the most popular was that Western health workers spread the disease. As a result, locals hid away sick or dead people from the authorities. Rumors constitute parallel information systems. They can be hard for authorities to deal with and are often fed by misunderstandings and insufficient dialogue among authorities and local communities.
Tonight, the Department of Health is holding its second community meeting on Rhode Island's new mandatory HPV vaccine.
One way to minimize the emergence of parallel information systems, or rumors, could be to include citizens and civil society in risk communication and organize responses to epidemic and pandemic threats in such a way that rumor will not be the main information channel. Broader dialogues and more openness could improve the public perception of authorities and possibly increase trust among partners as well. Another issue to take into account is the social group with whom authorities communicate. Audiences may be diverse, ranging from families, young people, and the elderly. They might need different types of information, different types of explanations, and might not be able to engage in dialogue in the same ways. Communicating risk can be accomplished in the media through a variety of methods, depending on the type of threat and the urgency with which the information must reach its audience. These methods include, for instance, hosting news conferences and public meetings, talking to journalists, buying advertising, maintaining a dedicated website with opportunities for feedback, posting to online forums, providing experts to radio and television call-in shows, writing letters to the editor, and submitting opinion pieces. Effective risk communication must also be successful in identifying the cultural dimensions and priorities of the targeted groups. One of the things that should be taken into consideration in this process is the communication channels. Different groups prefer different channels. Information channels are not judged as equally trustworthy. Typically, people trust their family doctor and information from researchers above that coming from media, governmental institutions, and the medical industry. The question is, what's the best way for public health authorities to communicate their messages to the public in case of an epidemic or pandemic? or should they use a wide range of ways to reach the public?